Okay, we got the 529 chassis all finished off. I decided not to put my regular routine paint on there. The brilliant silver metallic or whatever the heck it was. I can't remember one. We got the replaced socket for the antenna system replaced, so we could go ahead and get this thing along and get it finished. The thing is looking pretty spiffy. So what we're going to do now is we're going to flip it over, and there's the back end of the. If my phone will focus and stay focused, we're going to start replacing the caps now. So we've got everything else cleaned up, ready to go back on the chassis. I still got to put together the band switch. It's been cleaned. It just needs to be put back together and prepped for rewiring. At the same time, we're going to go in and do a replacement on all this rubber wires, any of it and all of it that's encountered. We're going to sleeve some of this on the oscillator coil, rather than having to pull the oscillator coil and go inside and risk doing any damage to it. I don't know. It's going to be a toss-up. I think I sleeved the last one. And I'm planning on doing this one, but if I have to remove it, I'll just go ahead and remove it. So stay tuned. There are going to be more after we get this done. Okay, we managed getting all the paper craps replaced, and I got a buck skeeter in my ear. Sorry for the shakiness. Now we got all the paper caps changed out. We got this big old power resistor right here changed out. The other one was bulgy and was getting super hot. It got so hot it was melting the wax of the original paper cap that was right next to it there. I was wondering where all that snot came from. So we got the little the gizzy thingy right there, and for the new caps that are going to go in. This cap here is going to be independent of that. It's going to ride over here on the rectifier tube. So we got to put the electrolytics in. But first, before I clutter it up with anything more, now that I got it opened up a little bit, I'm going to go in and attack all these wires. So stand by. There's going to be more destruction coming. Okay, continuing on with this 529 chassis, we've got some of the wiring replaced. All of the power wiring to the filaments of all the tubes. We got some gray wiring that is part of the B- line. We got a couple of resistors replaced in here at the same time. We've got, well, very little wiring left to go. We got some black in here for the grounds, and I still got all the radio organ wiring, control wiring to get in. That's going to be a last thing that I do before putting the switch back in. But right now, since I have to deal with since I'm dealing with all this crusty rubber wiring, well, one wire, the blue wire on this IF is rubber. I don't know why they did that, but they did. And all the other wiring is still pliable, but I'm going to replace it all. That's all. That's the best thing to do. I'm just going to replace it all. And since I'm doing the second IF, I'm going to do the first IF. The first IF has very good wiring on it. Now, some won't even go there, but I will. If I'm going to do one, I'm going to do them both. So, and then we're going to concentrate on doing some of this up here on the oscillator coil. I really didn't want to have to dig into the oscillator coil. I didn't on the last one, but this one here has some questionable wire here and there, and I'm gonna ponder that while I'm getting all the rest of this done. So I still got the electrolytics to be put in, but that's going to be in the tail end of winding this underside of the chassis up. And then we're going to move into replacing the antenna coil and the band switches and interconnecting wiring. That's going to be fun. So stay tuned, there's going to be more. Okay, we're still cranking away on this chassis for the 529. We got the caps in, we got the E-caps in. We got all the chassis wiring, well, with the exception of this ground leads to these two tubes. But other than that, everything is pretty much done on the chassis wiring. Yeah, guess what? I lost. I figured, yeah, let's just go with it. So I pulled the can, and I haven't even, I've never seen one of these physically. I've always, just seen the can. I've never bothered to open it up and see what it looks like. So now that I've got it open and going to replace the wires on it, I'm going to get a sketching of this like I did all my other coils, and some readings, and see if I can't manage getting the interconnections for this various coil stages here sketched out. That way, if I ever run across a situation where I got to go in and repair one of these, I can do that. So more to come. We're going to be getting the wiring changed on this thing and get it back in the chassis. So stay tuned. Okay, got the oscillator coil with new wires on them, and back in. Two I didn't have to replace because they were stout. I mean, they're, geez, ooh, ah. Okay, now moving on to the wafers on the band switch. I got to dress these up and get them ready, get them cleaned so that I can get all the tailings on these things, so I don't have to grunt and groan with it in the chassis. That other one is got a little bit more work to it, and then we're going to put the assembly back together, and I think everything else is ready to go. We're going to be throwing this thing together, and it's going to be ready for test pretty soon. So stand by, and we'll show you the final product whenever we get this switching done. So stay tuned. Okay, band switch is done, and she's glistening like a well, like something anyway. It do look good. So now it's going to be getting it into the chassis and getting it connected back up, and then we'll go on to the tone controls wiring and get that laid out and segmented so that we can do it without too much of a fuss. So stand by, there'll be more on the next one.